Let's get this over with. It's 200 and no 200 and I don't know 6 or 7, 5.
Yeah, good guess.
205 live, baby, of the podcast.
205.
And this is the D-Grain, of course. Daniel Ehrenberg, DCE, and over there is Henry Papali.
What's up, guys? It's H Husk over here.
Husk,
yeah,
I like
it's
it.
Husk. It's with an H, so I figured, for the final episode, let's change it up. H Husk. We had our work cut out for us this week, didn't we? There, Daniel. We had 2 films to watch, plus a little bit of a YouTube short.
Well, I mean, it wasn't originally a YouTube short.
Well, yeah, right. It was originally, like, I guess in 1983.
Student film or something?
Yeah, I mean, where would they? It had to be a student.
Oh,
film.
Kyle Padovano, this guy, he has the guts to get us to watch a student film on YouTube.
Yeah, but we did it.
We did it. We saw, and by the way, shout out to franchise listener Maddie Rags, who I saw earlier today logged that YouTube video on Letterboxd.
Really?
Yeah, he's really following along.
Jesus, I didn't even put that on Letterboxd. I didn't think it'd be on there.
Me neither.
Well, I'll do it. Yeah. Wow. Excellent. Yeah, I saw Kyle, his comments on the Patreon feed. They were very funny about the cost of some of the movies.
He's funny. I just I have so much hate in my heart for him right now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
me too. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, no, he was telling me about a cheaper app to watch these on.
Great.
Right. But for $1, it's I was good. Kyle, we were all right. I was just we were commenting on the prices. We were just joking. It's not really.
It's fine. We've got your money.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna use it.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Having said that, I'd rather use arcade tokens or something like that if I had to use it.
So what do we got? It's Children of the Corn Genesis from the year 2011.
Yeah.
Obviously, my MVP is Peter Gabriel, and my LVP is Phil Collins. 2018's Children of the Corn Runaway.
Yeah.
A movie I was so bored during that I wrote a list of things called Runaway that I like more.
Oh, wow.
You want to hear that list? Let's get into it.
Sure. Yeah, why not?
And then we watched Disciples of the Crow, the student film from 1983.
Great
All right.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. My list of things I like more than Children of the Corn Runaway that are called Runaway.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see that. I think we're going to be kind of on the same page with 9 and 10 here, with Genesis and Runaway.
I hated both of them. I hate Children of the Corn movies. None of them are good. I fucking shit on this franchise.
Okay, so agreed. Yes, for the sake of these 2 specific movies, I meant we might be more on the same page. But in general, overall, obviously we're on the same page. Yes, but continue. Let's hear this Runaway list.
Okay, are you ready, Henry? Here are the things. There is Runaways, the Marvel comic book.
Sure. Yeah, I thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then there's Runaways, the Hulu series based on the Marvel comic book.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I prefer that.
Sure.
Then there's the Kanye West song Runaway. All right,
song.
maybe his best song.
Wow. That's tough competition.
It is.
Okay.
It's incredible.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, then there's the Bon Jovi song Runaway.
Ooh.
That's better. It's better. It's
How
so
long is
much
the
better.
song?
Come on, it's like 3.5 minutes.
All right, I can deal with it for 3.5 minutes.
Okay, next. There's a song by the Killers called Runaways.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
All right.
Next. I've never seen it, but I'm fond of the box that I used to see in Blockbusters. The Tom Selleck movie Runaway.
The box of the Tom Selleck movie is better
It's like
than this movie.
futuristic. He's got like a metal arm on it. It's better.
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay, next. There was a Donnie Wahlberg show that got canceled after like 9 episodes. It was called Runaway. It's better than this.
Okay. All right.
All right. I think it might have been like the first season of the CW. Very early CW.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still better. Yeah.
There's the Soul Asylum song, Runaway Train. It's better.
I was going to add that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to add that. Yeah.
There's the band The Runaways with Joan Jett.
Yeah, I had thought of that.
Okay. There's the movie about the band The Runaways called The Runaways.
Yes, that's what I was waiting for. That one. Yeah. Nice.
That's better. Then there's a Yeah song called Runaway.
Ooh, I love the Yeah.
Great song,
okay.
slow one.
Right.
And then The National also have a song called Runaway.
Okay. All right.
All right, and that's all I got.
Can we include lyrics from a song that are better than the movie Runaway?
Hit me.
Runaway Train running right off the track. That's from Rock and Roll Train by AC/DC.
Oh, my God. Of course it is.
Yeah.
You know, there's also that movie Runaway Train. I've never seen it. It's supposed to be good.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, with John Voight and Eric Bogosian.
John Voight, you know, I've been...
It's not Eric Bogosian.
I've been learning... Why? Is it just some other guy with a Jufro?
No, it's Eric Roberts.
Oh, okay. Eric Roberts. I just saw him play a Latina guy in... a Latino guy, in The Specialist with Sylvester Stallone.
Ugh. Yeah. Okay. Who? Eric Bogosian?
Eric Roberts.
Eric Roberts is in The Special. Sure he is.
Yeah, and his dad is played by Rod Steiger doing a Spanish accent.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Rod Steiger.
Now... wait, what else was I going to say? John Voight. Here's some John Voight news for you.
Okay.
For fans of Gray Balls on the Patreon network, the girl who was the patient, Meredith's patient in the first episode of Grey's Anatomy, I found out is John Voight's goddaughter in real life. And they appeared in the movie Bratz, the movie together.
Bratz with a Z.
That's right.
That's great stuff.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
I will talk about anything to not talk about corn.
I fine. I don't watch these very often. I actually almost never anymore. But I caught the best part. I caught the last 5 minutes of Trump's press conference today.
He ran away.
Yeah. You saw it?
That's better, by the way. That's a better runaway. Yeah, Trump running away from the press conference.
You saw it? Did you see him ask his final question?
No, I just read about it.
Oh no, I watched it live. An Asian reporter asked him a question, and Trump asked her, "Why doesn't she ask the Chinese?" Because they're, you might not like the answers you get, and she stood up again, took her mask off, and said, why did you just ask me specifically that question?
What did he say?
Then he tried to back out of it, obviously. And
Chinese, Japanese, Indian chief.
I wasn't trying to ask anyway. I was making a point. And then someone else stood up to ask a question, and then he just said, yeah, we're done. Thank you. Bye. That was it.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's good stuff.
Henry, I'm drinking a Pamplemousse La Croix.
I'm a little disappointed. I didn't know you were. La Croix is sort of my last resort. It's one. Yeah,
it's a good one though. The grapefruit. It says Pamplemousse, but it's grapefruit. I don't know what Pamplemousse means.
It's probably grapefruit.
It's like pompous for grapefruit.
In French. Yeah, I got my Poland Spring Black Cherry.
Same as last week. All right, I guess we should get into these movies. I hate them so much. Children of the Corn Genesis. Directed by Joel Susudio Soisson. He's a nobody.
Yeah, yeah. Do you remember when I sang Susudio in a bar in Union Square? Were
No,
you present?
but I believe it.
You were in present for that?
I might have been. I might have been
I
very drunk.
Yeah, yeah. I thought you were there. I kind of killed it, to be honest. Yeah.
Henry Joel Soisson, he's
Yeah.
a horror sequel expert.
Sure is. I'm looking at that.
He
Yeah,
did
yeah.
2 of the Prophecies and
Mm-hmm.
2 of the Pulses. Remember Pulse?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it, but yeah.
It's a cell phones attacking Kristen Bell. I remember in that movie, the whole thing was they had to get to a Wi-Fi dead spot so that technology could stop attacking them.
That's the
That's the
that's
premise.
a Wi-Fi dead spot?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. You try basically anywhere. You'd be all right.
No, man, this town,
Going
I'm
to-
telling you, they had a ton. He's also a great writer, Joel Soisson, one of the best. He wrote here. Listen to some of these movies, Henry. The Prophecy 3, The Ascent,
Nice.
Highlander, Endgame.
Ooh.
Okay, that one has the wrestler Edge in it. Dracula
Okay.
2000. He wrote that. That's a classic.
That's a big credit.
That came out in
All right.
theaters at least.
Yeah.
Mimic 2. I didn't know that existed. We should cover
I didn't.
Mimic.
Yeah, I didn't see Mimic too.
A couple more Draculas. Hellraiser, Hellworld.
Okay, sure.
All right. Hollow Man 2
Didn't see that.
with
I saw the
Christian
first
Slater. Yeah. Piranha 3 Double D.
one. Did you see that?
Yeah, of course.
I figured.
Yeah. And then ever since then, it's been just bullshit. But he wrote both of the Korn movies that we're going to talk about today. So listen, this is an important figure. It's the first creator that has worked on more than one of these fucking things.
Yeah, geez, and they're quite radically different. So that actually is was a little surprising. They're really nothing alike.
Hey, this guy's also a producer. He's got a producer credit on
Oh yeah,
Trekkies.
he's got a ton of producing credits. He got some. On
Hey,
Nightmare on Elm
American
Street.
Pie presents The Naked Mile.
I know.
How about that?
Yeah,
Bill
I
and
think
Ted's
he-
Excellent Adventure.
yeah. He goes way back. I think he's mainly a producer. It
Yeah,
seems to me.
looks like he's a producer who writes and directs a lot of shitty horror films.
Right. To each his own.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's making a living. What do we say here? He's making a living.
We think. I mean, we don't know.
The residuals are probably nil, so he probably gets his upfront, and then.
Are you kidding me? He probably gets resids. These movies are probably all on fucking Shudder.
No, right, but I'm saying, what are the residuals you could possibly reap from this? What kind of? I don't know. It's probably the upfront, the advance. Probably gets the advance.
I don't know, man. These horror movies, you're casting like nobody Canadians. That casting couch has to be very giving.
Yeah. Very giving couch. Yes,
It is.
Yeah, it is the giving couch. The making of Children of the Corn.
Shel Silverstein. This movie was released on video on August 30th, 2011. I mean, it's meaningless.
Yeah.
I've never said a less meaningful sentence in my life.
Dimension Extreme put it out.
Yeah, they had that little tag for a while. I remember you used to see that red triangle in the top right corner of these things.
You see Bob and Harvey's name on it. On the credits, I remember.
Yeah, Weinstein Extreme is not something I want to
Yeah.
experience.
No.
I'm gonna come on 2 potted plants.
Look how he sounds like a Gollum or something.
You're gonna watch me take 2 showers.
Oh man. Ugh.
Yeah. Hey, so let's get into it.
Yeah.
It's 1973 again.
It's for no reason. Oh no, we were right. That's right. We start off with the soldier coming home from Vietnam.
What's the premise of this one again?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm looking up right now. Yeah, opens with the soldier coming home to the house and nobody's there.
This is the couple. They stay at that house, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, right. Right. And he comes. That's the opening sequence. He finds his whole family dead with corn stalks in their eyes and all that
I
shit.
couldn't
And then
believe it. Listen, one crazy thing about this franchise is they really just give no thought to what the previous movie was.
no,
It's like they immediately just get amnesia. Like the second they finish one of these fucking things, it's like, wait, we got to make a new Children of the Corn movie. What's that? What's Children of the Corn? And then
yeah,
they
I don't
just
think,
read the short story again. They pull from that piece of shit. Probably,
Yeah.
part of me this week was like, maybe I should just
read it.
read the short story. And then I was
Yeah.
like, I got to experience this shitty story again.
We've already done it 3 times.
Yeah, with a
Because
fourth coming up. Henry, have you heard about this?
No, I was including the YouTube video, but yeah, that 3. And what's a 4? Whoa! We're redoing the whole thing now.
You familiar with the director Kurt Wimmer? He made the classic film Ultraviolet, one of the worst movies ever.
Okay. All right.
Well, if you ever wanted to see his take on the original Children of the Corn story, get ready, because they're remaking this fucking thing again.
Oh my god.
And we're going to have to watch it because of Kyle Padovano.
Oh man, when is this happening?
I don't know. It's in the works. Apparently, this was like one of the things in production when the coronavirus happened.
Okay.
They were shooting in Australia.
Oh, okay. Wow, big bucks. Big bucks.
I hope they all get set on fire.
They'll get the coronavirus.
The coronavirus.
Yeah. That's well, I don't think that's going to be coming out anytime soon. So we'll get a nice few-year break, I'm sure, between that. Wow, that's sad news.
But anyway, the reason I brought that up, just like the collective amnesia that the creative teams of the series face, is just that last remake that we did. That's the last movie we covered, the shitty 2009 remake.
Yes, it seems like ages ago.
It was all Vietnam flashbacks, like the whole
Right.
third act, and then this movie we're starting with fucking Vietnam flashbacks.
Right. Yes. That's
When did
right.
that become essential to this franchise?
I don't know. That's why I think that's in the book. It's got to be in the book.
Well, it must be because it shows up in Disciples of the Crow as well.
I didn't even catch that.
In
man.
the dialogue in the car, I think.
Oh, that was tough to pay attention to, even though it was only
The whole
2
thing
nights.
was tough to pay attention to.
Yeah.
This story has so little meat on it that it's like even 18 minutes, which is
Didn't
what
fill
that
it.
short story was. There was so much dead air.
Yeah, it really was. There really was.
The only
And
thing that could do justice to the original Children of the Corn is you make it 4.5 minutes long.
4.5 minutes, make it like a song,
Yeah.
the length of a song. One
Yeah.
of those short animated features like they do at the Oscars. It's
Or like that just show it before a Pixar movie.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Children of the Corn. Pixar presents Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
Cornucopia.
He Who Walks Behind the Rose. Who would that be in the Pixar universe?
Oh boy. Well, I'm sure they
Have
could
they
come
ever
up
done a rural Pixar movie? I don't know. I can't picture Pixar cornfields.
I'm sure they would know how to do it. Doesn't Up take place? Doesn't the guy get in the balloon? He's not in the city.
Yeah, he's in like the jungle, isn't he?
No,
You
it's
mean at
Old
the
Man.
beginning?
Yeah,
He's living on
yeah.
like a hill outside of a city, I think.
Oh, all right. A shining city on a hill. Yeah. I'd be down for a Pixar version of this. Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, the Vietnam thing. Yeah, so that's right. I forgot about that. He goes through the house and happens to he already like he seems totally fine when he walks in the house, and then as soon as this bad stuff starts happening to this young fella, he starts seeing little Vietnamese children running around him, and he thinks he's being attacked. He's back in Da Nang, getting macheted. Yeah, it's great stuff.
I don't care.
Yep. And then,
You're going to hear a lot of that this week, gang.
he falls backwards out of a window, and then he blacks out as the kids are surrounding him. Cut to
California desert, present day.
yeah, and he's back, and that's him, is Billy Drago. He's a preacher now. So you have to kind of work that out too, because I didn't know how he would survive that, nor why he wasn't killed when he fell out the window. But
Once the flashbacks stopped happening, I just ignored it completely. It's so unnecessary. Why didn't they just start it with this couple?
right, I don't know. I don't know because because Billy Drago, the actor, he could have just said that happened to him.
You don't even need to know that.
Yeah, well, if you want some backstory on this fucking preacher, I'm just saying. But yeah.
What? I mean, how does that enlighten us?
It
All you need to know is that he was once part of the cult or whatever. But as we know in this fucking franchise, all you have to do to indicate that is say he who walks behind the rose once.
Yeah. But I never ascertained that he even was part of the cult. He seems like a guy who just brings people to it to stave off.
I think he's sort of like his own cult. It's I
yeah.
think there are offshoots of He Who Walks Behind the Rose offshoots.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Where it's this guy, because he's in California too. All the previous cult stuff we've seen, all the cult activity has been in Nebraska.
Oh, that's a good point.
But there are cornfields in other states.
Well, there are, and I completely forgot they were in California because they don't ever it doesn't feel anything like nothing like California. So the whole movie I was still thinking, oh, all right, we're in Utah or something. I didn't remember the California thing. Yeah.
All right, so this couple, we've got Kellen Coleman is the girl.
Yeah, she misspelled her name.
What do you mean?
Well, I guess when she was born, but it's Kellen.
What about it?
It should be Helen.
Oh, Kellen's a name.
Kellen?
Yeah.
Kellen.
Yeah, Kellen Coleman. Now, I've seen her and stuff.
Oh, I know.
What do you mean you know?
Because I looked at her filmography.
Look, most of the shit she's been in is pretty unmemorable, but I do remember her role as a love interest to that fucking shrimpy guy on the Newsroom.
See, I watched the Newsroom, and
she was on it for a while, dude. Don't you remember? It was okay. You remember Allison Pill and that one guy?
Yeah, I only watched one season.
All right, well, she was probably in it. They were into each other.
Yes.
Then Allison Pill introduced him to a friend of hers, and they hit it off and dated for a little while.
Yes.
She was the friend.
Wow. And she was in The Office for a couple episodes too, but I sure as shit don't remember her.
I think she was a friend of Pam's.
Isabel Poreba.
I don't know.
I liked her. I actually think she's not a bad actress. And
she was fine. She's the MVP of this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue that. I also didn't think that the guy was that bad either.
He was fine. The acting wasn't the problem in this movie. There's
really
only 5 actors in this movie, and none of them are awful.
No, I agree with you. Barbara Nedeljakova.
Great. You're nailing these pronunciations, I'm sure.
Nedeljakova. Nedeljakova.
Uh-huh.
She was in Hostel.
I'm sure she was.
Yeah, that's her main claim to fame. She played, the Ukrainian wife, who we never really get much info on. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I think the acting in this, I guess it was a little bit of a relief from our prior installment in 7 and 8, where the acting in this is at least not bad. That's not the problem.
You know what's weird though? No children.
Yeah, great too, though. That was another bonus.
But it's weird. We talked about how all these movies do have a lot of children and corn.
Yeah, true.
This movie had no children and very little corn.
I think that might be why it was more tolerable to me, because it was almost like we've been saying all along, how they're each completely different from the next one, but they have similarities that are just as bad. But this one was truly completely its own concoction. It could have been anything. It didn't even need to be children.
It might not have been called Children. It might have been a script that they were like, hey, have someone say who walks behind the rose twice.
Yep. Slap the title on. This is a different movie. This is just a movie about a couple who gets lost and stays in a creepy house. And
you know what I noticed? You know what I noticed about these movies? None of them have a second act.
Well, they have like a first.
These
that
movies
goes
are
really long.
They're an
and then a
hour and
third.
20 minutes. These movies, it's always like 40 minutes of them showing up someplace and meeting
True.
everybody,
Yes.
and then the end.
Yeah, the third act comprises of some sort of terror that's really quick. So it's kind of like first act, third act, or
Right.
maybe just one long first act.
I think it's just like a long act and then climax.
Yeah. Harold Pinter, it's not. Yes.
Oh, or who's that guy? Francis Scott Key. You know, the guy who
Francis Scott Key, who wrote the Star Spangled Banner.
I mean, the guy who writes those like on screenwriting books. Sid Field.
Oh. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So they their car breaks down, of course, and they walk to this couple's house, and it's a hot Ukrainian lady, and her elderly husband.
Yes, that's Frank Nitti from The Untouchables.
Crazy haircut too.
On him?
Yeah.
I didn't notice. What do you mean?
I don't know. It was weird. It looked super 80s and kind of boyish. Like, I don't know. It looked,
yeah, okay.
but it was gray. It looked like
Right.
if Harry Hamlin went gray.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. Do you remember this actor from The Untouchables? I know you're not a fan of that movie, but do you remember him?
I didn't know him from anything.
He in The Untouchables.
I like his name though, Billy Drago.
Yeah, he's got the big scene. He's Al Capone's chief henchman. He's the one who has a big scene on the rooftop with Costner, and he's like,
sure he does.
You don't remember any?
No,
of
I do kind of, but I should watch
yeah.
that movie again. It's coming up on my.
I would like you to see that again. Yeah.
All right, but I'm looking through his list here, and there's not
much,
man.
No. I mean, I only knew him from that. Yeah.
Really, you don't know him from Cyborg 2, Glass Shadow?
No, I think I had it on mute.
Hey, he's in a movie. Listen to this, Lunar Cop. That must be a cop on the moon.
Wow, Lunar Cop.
We've got to see this. Okay, it's Michael Paré and Billy Drago, and it's called Lunar Cop, 1995. A cop from the moon is sent to the Earth.
Now, it's the reverse. Okay.
Now possessed by motorcycle-riding, Mad Max-like inhabitants to stop a serum from being released that he believes is going to destroy the Earth.
Wow.
That sounds better than this movie.
He's in a lot of stuff, dude. He was in the Hills Have Eyes remake.
Oh, you had me at the Hills, and then you lost me at Have Eyes remake.
Yeah, good point. Well, I'll tell you this: he was in the X-Files too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the original run.
What episode?
The episode Thief. Theef.
Yeah, I know it, man. I don't remember him. It's like season 7, I think. All right, let's talk about it. They go to this couple's house. They're creeps, but they let them in. They're talking in the living room. At first he doesn't let them in, but that's just like for 2 seconds. And then they go in, and he says, "You can stay here overnight. We've got a guy coming to deliver some supplies in the morning, and he'll take you to the next town," or whatever.
Right. Yeah, pretty much.
So they're like, "Sounds great." You got PJs that I can? You got any spare pillows?
Yeah,
we didn't get to see the logistics of that. I would love to see them go to Billy Drago and be like, "I'm so sorry, we didn't plan for this. Do you have toothpaste? We'll use our fingers."
You can use the outhouse, but don't go poking around. We're private people. We're very private people. Yeah.
So I don't understand. Honestly,
there's not a lot to understand.
He says that to them.
Right.
And then they kind of just go their separate ways. Like, both couples go off to bed.
It's true. Yeah, like they could have. I mean, there's so much going. First of all, it's obviously goes without saying, bad decision to stay at the house. But they're there. They're in their room.
I would do it.
Just go to bed. Just go to bed. And then instead they hear she hears things. She has to go out to the outhouse. Fine. I mean, I don't know, man.
I wouldn't even go to the outhouse. It's dark out there. I don't know my fucking way around. There might be bugs. There might be corn. There might be children. And
And he actually, they are guests in the preacher's house. He did ask them very politely, uh, please don't go poking around. Just don't, you know. So
either
abide by
go
the rules.
outside, find a spot, and pee there, or pee in a water bottle.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I actually, when I was watching it, I was like, I mean, there's got to be a sink or a bucket in that shithole. There's, why go outside? What's the same
I've
thing
peed
in
in a
our
water
house?
bottle when like my roommate's in the shower. I'm certainly going to do that if I'm staying in some stranger's house in the
Yeah,
middle of
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
nowhere.
I was actually quite impressed. You brought up the PJs thing. I was actually quite impressed when they went into the room and it was made up
Yeah,
quite
that must
nicely.
have been the Ukrainian.
Yeah, it was probably her hospitality, but I was impressed.
She
I was
has
like,
some pretty good hospitality.
she has her hospitality is so incredible that I'm surprised that preacher's still alive.
Yeah.
If they keep having male house guests, because you'd think somebody might off him and just kind of take her
Well, when
away.
our friend, what's his name,
Tim Rock.
Tim Rock, when he's calling AAA, she's over there fondling his penis.
Yes, she certainly is. And then she moves back a few steps and lifts up her skirt.
He plays it right, I think, where he's saying stop, but also he's not really turning his torso. Get a couple extra seconds of strange fondle,
Right. It's
but
weird.
also tell her to stop.
Right. Plus, it is interesting because his girlfriend is actually not like the prior installment where you do not want her to be slapped. She's actually pretty cool. I think they actually have some funny dialogue together. I
No, they
actually
don't.
do. Okay.
They deliver it charmingly enough, but
Thank you.
I believe
Yeah.
if you saw it on the page,
It wouldn't jump out at me.
yeah.
No. But they delivered the dialogue well, and they have a good rapport. And she's like not somebody that you would I would think, but
What were you
that
about to say? Like kick out of bed or something?
she's not somebody where as an audience member you're going, oh my god, yeah, dump that awful pain in the ass and go for the Ukrainian woman.
No,
There's
right.
none of
You
that.
don't want him to cheat because the Ukrainian woman's like a sex pot or whatever, and his lady's like a nice lady.
Having said that, he has extraordinary willpower, but that's beside the point.
Well, look, the husband's in the next
Yeah,
room.
literally
dude.
a wall apart.
Yeah.
A see-through wall essentially. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those like wall openings, not really
Yeah.
a door.
Yeah. The sequences with the Ukrainian woman and him on the phone are intercut with the girlfriend talking to the preacher, and the girlfriend talking to the preacher really drags when it should really be tension filled, but
Yeah.
it's really dragging.
Why didn't they leave the second they walked into the living room and saw that camera on a tripod?
I would think that would be an indicator. Yeah, I know.
What the
Well,
fuck is going on here? They don't have that because they're budding filmmakers.
Right, exactly, right. Well, you know what always amazes me about movies like this? This goes for a lot of thrillers, hundreds and hundreds of them. If your car breaks down on the highway, you know what, man? Just stay with the car and sleep in it. And then the next morning, you'll be able to do what you need to do.
Oh yeah,
Like,
tell that to Michael Jordan's father.
Oh, God. Too soon.
It's not too soon. It happened in like 1993.
Too soon because I just watched it. It was
I
too soon
know,
for
I
me
know.
to. Yeah, but it's just amazing. It's like everyone in these movies is so determined to find a house, find a town, knock on a door, sit in someone's living room. It's like, just stay in the car. They have reclining seats. Just relax. I've broken down before. You just stay.
This isn't Gatlin. Like, there's got to be a cop around. There is a cop. A cop comes to visit at one point.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
Yeah,
Because,
the car. So a cop finds the car broken down, and then shows up at the house in the middle of the night, and then he just sort of gets raptured. It's exactly the same special effect as in the movie The Forgotten.
it's identical.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, the UFOs just sweep them up.
Yeah.
And
It's a good effect. I like it in The Forgotten, and I thought it was pretty good here.
I loved it in The Forgotten. And also, I knew that by the end of the movie, we'd be seeing that cop fall from the sky.
I didn't, and you know what? Thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I knew it was going to happen. I didn't forget about it, which is kind of amazing.
Listen, I'll say I'm going to give this a 1, okay? I fucking hate these movies. At this point, I am incapable of giving any of these movies higher than a 1.
I understand that. For ranking's sake, and based on I didn't actually put the star rating down until I had watched the 10th. And so in relation to that, see, this is where Letterboxd comes in. On Letterboxd, I would give this movie a 1. But here, within the context of our show, I feel like it's a 2.
How do you ever
draw that distinction?
No, I don't.
You don't make any of that distinction. You've done it, though, on the show before.
Henry, I'm straight up. I give you my straight up opinion at all times, baby.
Oh, it's a 1-star movie then. Fine. I had written 2 stars, but it's not 2 stars because if I'm looking at Letterboxd and someone asks me, is this a movie that's, 2 stars? I'd be no. And we don't do halvesies. You'd be happy to notice if you're following me on Letterboxd, I followed the franchise legacy.
That's
the
right.
Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do halvesies.
No,
A lot of people do them.
Everyone does them. But if you're out there using half grades, I want you to know that you're a coward.
And yes, sometimes that means I give a lot of 5-star ratings, and sometimes
you
I
give too many 5-star ratings.
Well,
you are too liberal with the 5 stars.
Well, you got to go through them though, because I've kind of gone over some of my other.
I've gone through them. I've gone through every single one
of yours,
of everything you've reviewed.
Wow, I'm impressed.
That's right.
I would like to flatter you and say I've done that for you.
I'm doing it periodically. I check every 4 or 5 days.
No, and I go through some of yours, but you have some surprises on there too. But
give me a surprise.
All right, so like I watched Destroyer, right?
Yeah.
So I think you gave it 4.
Right.
Right.
You gave it a 5 because you give liberal 5s.
I gave it a 5 because of the criteria that I'm looking for. It's there's nothing really wrong with that movie. It's in every way an excellent film. If I had one critique of it, it would really be Nicole Kidman's accent, which shines through.
Not a 5.
Yeah, but I think it can be a 5.
No,
I haven't have an issue with that. I stand by my 5-star rating of Destroyer, but I'm also extremely liberal with my 1s, which I imagine will get me into trouble at some point.
Henry, can we pull apart my favorite line of dialogue in Children of the Corn Genesis a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. The year is 2011. Remember that.
Okay.
All right. So they go into the living room, and this is when all 4 of them are sitting in the living room chatting.
Okay.
Okay. They have a pretty nice TV, better than you'd think.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right.
Tim Rock says that's a nice TV. Of course, TVs are unnecessary now that The Sopranos is dead and buried.
Yeah, love that line.
First of all, very weird
line
to hear a pop culture reference in a Children of the Corn movie.
It's not the last time either.
Yeah, might be the first. But then I was just trying to think about that. The year is 2011. The Sopranos ended 4 or 5 years ago at this point.
Yeah, it had ended in, 2007, 8?
Something like that, okay?
Yeah.
All right. In 2011, we are now 4 or 5 seasons into Mad Men and Breaking Bad. 2011 was the year Homeland premiered, which was like a big deal at the time, but let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say they filmed this before that happened.
Yeah. I think that there's a pretty easy explanation for
We're a few years at this point into the golden age of television.
Yeah, we are. I think it's pretty obvious to me that Joel Soisson of the Fish and Goose Soiree, I would imagine he's just not a Mad Men, Breaking Bad, TV in general type of guy who's up on it. So the biggest pop culture thing he'll know is The Sopranos. He knows it ended.
Right. That was a big deal when it ended. Yeah.
He heard it ended. I'm not saying he watched it, but he heard that it ended. And so
he's
like,
you think maybe if this movie was made like 2 years later or something, the line would be like, not worth it since Lost ended.
Could be. But I also had a thought since I felt the same way as you about the reference that time wouldn't even matter. I think this movie could have come out last year and he might have made the same reference.
It's not worth having since The Sopranos ended. But you know what? It would be now they'd have something about streaming. You know,
If he knows about streaming,
Joel Soisson.
yeah,
He must, because all his movies are on Shudder.
Joel Soisson.
Joel Soisson. All right, so I really enjoyed that. Okay, next, right, the cop gets raptured. Then, I was really interested in about 2/3 of the movie when the movie just becomes an abortion debate.
Yes. Yeah, it was great stuff.
It was interesting, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel that this was a nuanced take on abortion?
Well, so
do you think that the Children of the Corn franchise is the best place to be discussing this topic?
There's definitely the old trope of the relationship that seems great, and then there might be trouble brewing because she might have had an abortion and lied to her husband and said it was a miscarriage. That's a standard thing to go through. If it is going to tackle Roe v. Wade, I'm not sure which side of the pendulum swings on this movie now. Do you think it's a pro-choice movie, or would you say it's more of a,
I think this is a film that wanted to present both sides of the argument and to give their points
cogently.
Yeah. And then I think it's
right.
up to you. It's up to you to sit with yourself after Children of the Corn Genesis.
Yeah. Right.
And really think about what your response would be in this situation.
Yeah. And I did think about it when it happened and didn't remember that it was a plot point until 35 seconds ago. I never remembered. But
so she at some point was pregnant. She had an A word, and then he's mad about it. I gotta say this as a dude.
Sure, absolutely.
Because I am a dude.
You are, in fact.
Yeah. I'm a man.
You are a man. Yeah.
I can get you pregnant. Not you, Henry, but the listeners, the female listeners. I have the ability to get you pregnant.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Just in case any lady listeners were wondering, Dan can get you pregnant. It can happen. Yeah.
With my pee in your vagina. So I was thinking about it, and I really do think that if you're a dude, you have no rights.
Totally
And I
agree.
think that's a good thing.
Totally agree with you.
Like, if I was with a girl and she was like, FYI, I was pregnant with your child and I got rid of it, my reaction would be like, you feel good about that decision? And if she was like, yes, I'd be like, okay.
Right.
These people that are like, what? You killed my son?
Well, they're the worst
What
men
about
on
my
earth.
family name?
They're the worst men on earth, because the most I would think you would be very upset for her, like, oh my goodness, you should have told me. I would have helped you.
You had to go through an abortion.
Yeah, you didn't have to do that alone. I would have been there for you. But you're right. The men always react the same way in these fucking stupid movies. It's always they're offended. They're always fucking like they were put upon.
Because they think like they were entitled to, look, hey, that's a decision that we have to make between the two of us.
Right.
No, dude, you impregnated her, and once that shit's in her, that's a good point, and you came, right? It's so easy to not come.
Yeah. He could not do it, and then they wouldn't have to worry about it.
Put on a great condom. There's so many great condoms out there to be used. All right? Pull it out. You can duke anywhere you want.
Right.
Anywhere you want. The possibilities are endless.
Assuming Kellen is one of those, she's interested. She'll let that happen.
You want to come in your dad's turntable and ruin the gears or something? You can do that.
Where did that come from?
Well, I did that once. No, I'm just kidding. I never did that. My dad doesn't even have a turntable. All right.
One time in my own Blu-ray player, I just felt like fucking up my own Blu-ray player.
But you know what? That's your prerogative. But once that cum is in that Blu-ray, say you impregnate the Bluray player,
right?
It's up to the Blu-ray player.
But would I get a Blu-ray out of it that's like maybe like a part of me. It has like some of me in what I get to watch on that Blu-ray that's created by coming into the Blu-ray
Yeah,
machine.
but you know what? If the Blu-ray player doesn't want to show you that movie, that's up to the Blu-ray.
It's up to the
And
Blu-ray.
then you might just get like a crumpled up, bloody copy of Dunkirk.
I'll tell you one thing. It's a 5-star movie. That's what I gotta say.
The movie with you in it?
Yeah, the movie that I ejaculated into a Blu-ray disc player. That's a 5-star. Letterboxd 5-star.
That thing would be a nightmare, dude. That's nightmare fuel. All right.
So there's a kid in the shed. It turns out it's a Ukrainian woman's kid.
And the second they found this kid in the shed, stop talking about rescuing the kid. You
I know,
don't
they never
know.
get out of there.
You don't know the situation.
They never just get out. They never get out. They got to stay behind. They got to. You're
I
absolutely
would
right.
stop thinking about it. I'd be like, oh, there's a kid chained in the shed. I don't know
Right.
what that's about. Let's go to sleep.
And if you did have trouble sleeping because of it, certainly the next day you just be like, you know what, honey, let's get the fuck out of here. There was that kid in the shed last night. I think we're good to go.
Yeah, whatever. Tomorrow,
Don't
go to
meddle.
the next
Don't
town,
meddle.
find a motel. You can fucking sleep the day away.
Right. Everyone's meddling. Everyone always meddling in the affairs of these corn people. They really, they bring it on themselves. That's what I'm saying.
They do, Henry.
Tim Rock and Kellen Rock.
So the next morning, that guy shows up. I actually liked this guy.
Pritchett.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him around. He's a character actor.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. He's sort of a poor man's W. Earl Brown.
So poor man's Pruitt Taylor Vince.
Yeah, sort of. Good call.
Yeah.
So yeah, they drive off with this guy. He brings some toys for the kid, and
Yeah, very fucking weird. The Ukrainian mother, nothing makes sense. I mean, she says she loves this child. She orders some trucks for him, but obviously the truck driver has a negotiation settlement worked out with the preacher because he's the one he delivers the trucks as promised, but then he's the one who's kind of shipping the preacher people for these kids, or at least pregnant women for these kids.
yeah,
That seems to be the situation. So they steal the cop car. They get on the highway. I mean,
this was some fucking Matrix Reloaded shit.
yeah. And first of all, I have to admit, the first thought I had when I saw that highway, well, I had two thoughts. One, boy, they were really close to the highway. It took them like 2 seconds to get on the highway.
Great point.
I was like, why didn't they just go to that major expressway from the dirt road they were
It'd be
driving
like
on?
if the sun came out and there was just like a mall behind the house.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's just why didn't they just go there, throw the thumb up, get some rides, And second of all, massive thought popped into my brain. I can't believe they could afford to shoot on a highway. I legit went through that process. I was like, how are they coordinating
Yeah,
all this?
I don't actually know that either.
It's not CGI.
That might have been some sweet guerrilla filmmaking, baby. Just shoot it in the car, set it up.
But then the car's falling off.
Yeah, there's
That
like special effects and shit. They
Yeah.
must have rented out a stretch of highway for like a couple hours.
Maybe they did, or it's a lot in wherever they filmed this.
It might be one of those things where they filmed at night, but then they just like blasted it with lights to make it look like day.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, they get in a car wreck. The husband dies. The wife survives, of course. The baby's fine.
Yeah.
Mr. Pritchett takes her
Back to the old man. And the old man adopts her as his newest wife. Apparently, he's got sort of a harem of wives.
Is that what was going on? Because I couldn't really
Looked
tell.
like there were a lot of wives at the end.
Yeah, I didn't know. That was another thing that also carries on, has been in other movies every once in a while, where there's more adults than you think there are. And I don't
Might
get
have
it.
been under the shed, maybe in a trap
Yeah.
door.
Yeah, because the Ukrainian's son kills her with a rake. telekinetically kills her with a rake.
Yeah, the kid is telekinesis, which, I mean, that is just the last resort of these fucking Stephen King movies.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We've talked about that. That's right. So is that what he is?
Make one of these fucking kids invisible or something. I am
be
so
cool.
sick of looking at them, looking at objects and having them move.
Telekinesis. Yeah, yeah. I'm not that interested in telekinetics, unless it's an X-Men.
Yeah, I'm all right in the X-Men or like Carrie. It's all right in a couple places. I like that telekinetic in Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood.
I don't remember that.
Don't you remember it was supposed to be like Jason versus Carrie, and then they just made it like some random girl that has telekinesis?
Yeah. Well, the reason it works in Carrie is because the telekinesis is the fucking... That's the
It's
thing
the central
that happens.
metaphor of the film.
Yes. And it's like when it happens, it's used in such a powerful way. It's just thrown around in these movies like it's nothing. It's just it's exhausting. But I did not even figure out that that's what this preacher's doing. I didn't even realize it's a harem. But you're probably right. He gets them pregnant or has other people. That's why he has wives there, and then they have kids. And I mean, but so he is part of their culture.
I think
but
he
doesn't like
listen.
them either,
I think that he worships he who walks behind the rose, Henry, and he is collecting this harem to spread his seed, and each of these children that are going to be born are going to be the new children of the corn.
Yeah, I guess you're right, but why does he spend so much of the movie like... I mean, I don't think he's lying when he says he's the one fighting the evil and he found the pictures in the camera. I don't think those are lies. You know, I think he's just as... He killed his whole family.
But villains think they're the heroes of their own stories.
Oh, you're giving this a lot of credit, though. You're giving him a lot of character development.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
I'm good. Yeah,
so this movie ends. It's an hour and 15 minutes. You gotta love that shit.
I did. I didn't mind.
Yeah. All right. So I give it a 1. You give it a 2. My MVP is going to be Kellen Coleman.
Yeah, she'll be mine as well. Sorry, I'm going to steal that with you. Yeah.
I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I liked her. I thought Billy Drago was pretty good too. But
yeah, again, the cast not the problem with this movie. Honestly, it's even the screenplay more than it is the filmmaking.
I agree because the sets are nice. They've got a creepy, tense mood. I think there's actually... I guess that's why for me it wasn't that...
I'm gonna give a rare writer-director LVP. Soisson's gonna get it.
Soisson.
That's right.
Soisson. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna share this week. MVP and LVP. We're gonna share that for this.
I don't fucking care.
I know. Yeah, all right.
Superhero count?
None.
Great. All right.
None for the next one.
Fucking awesome. That's what I like to hear. Well, that means we could get to some listener mail.
Yeah, it opens up a little door for us.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just get straight into it. Children of the Corn Runaway.
Yeah.
This is a movie that exists for some reason. Soisson wrote it. It's directed by Project Greenlight's John Gulager.
Now expand on that, yes.
Son of Clu Gulager, classic actor, who's also in this movie. And so he got picked to do the movie in the 3rd season of Project Greenlight. They were going to be making a horror movie, and Wes Craven had signed on to produce the fucking thing. So they picked Gulager based on his short film or whatever that he had made, and he got to make this movie, Feast. And he disagreed with Wes Craven a lot of the time, which was ridiculous.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember Matt Damon saying to him, "You're sitting 5 feet away from the master of horror, and you're not taking his advice."
Yeah, but he was kind of a weird guy. And like John Gulager, to his credit, in the show, I really liked him because he came across like this sort of kooky artist type.
Yeah, I don't remember what he... That was the last season I watched. I watched the whole thing, but I don't remember what
That's not the last season you watched, Henry. We enjoyed the Effie Gray season together.
Holy shit, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, baby, the Leisure Class.
Okay, yeah, and I watched that movie, too. It was
atrocious. I watched Feast.
I did not.
And all of my residual love for John Gulager from the show just, like, disappeared.
It evaporated.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It's such like edgelord bullshit. Just like, oh, I'm doing something dangerous.
Yeah, that's always a little irritating. Yeah. Okay. Well,
It's
so
like the
that's.
smoking aces of horror movies.
Yeah, I avoided that one. I keep seeing that come up on my letterbox as like a popular movie, and I almost just want to rate it to get it off there.
What,
or
smoking
something.
aces?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the same movie as like Lucky Number 11, which I didn't see either.
I didn't see
It's the
that.
same fucking thing, man.
I don't know. You like that guy, right?
No, we've had this
Oh,
conversation.
that's right. That's right.
I loved Narc, 5-star movie.
That's not a 5-star movie.
Yes, it is.
Get
5-star
outta here.
movie, Narc. There was one of our followers on Letterboxd who wrote a neat rating system, even though he does do halvesies. But he explained all of his ratings, and basically for him, 5 stars is basically either a personal favorite or a masterpiece. And I would add a third one, a really, really damn good movie that doesn't really have anything wrong with it.
No. See, what you just described is a 4.
Then why not the 5?
Do you just not use 4s? Is that something?
I sure do. I do use 4s. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I feel like you only like you've taken this to another level where like I've said no half ratings and you've decided I don't give 2s or 4s. It's just 1s, 3s, and 5s.
No. That's not true. For me, I grew up with the half star thing. So adjusting to that was for this show. And then we started to do that when we met because we used to follow the timeout guide. That's
right.
Kind of, yeah. So for me, it's just kind of like, I'm not, if I only gave 5s, I would really only be giving them to things like Godfather, There Will Be Blood. That's boring. I'm not just going to give it all that. That's not fair to really great movies. I don't think that's fair. What would you give what have you given a 5 to that's come out? Like
Henry, go look at my rating scale. I gave a lot of 5s at the end of last year. Knives Out, Irishman, fucking Parasite. Those all got 5s.
Anything iconoclastic or that?
What does that mean?
Anything that not everyone in the world gave 5 stars to? Your own things.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I gave Snake Eyes a 5.
Okay, there you go. You made my point.
But I stand by that grade.
I stand by all of mine.
You shouldn't. Children of the Corn Runaway by John Gulager and Joel Swasson came out March 13th, 2018.
Oh, I remember.
Mm-hmm. So it starts out in sort of a grainy black and white that we go back to a few times in the movie. And like I was like, God, it's the 10th Children of the Corn movie. And like for the first time we're going to like actually like try something.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Like they try this as a Pruder film type of thing going on there, and they try a narration from a boy who you're not sure. Of course, you think he's good the whole time. And I feel though like this one with 9, both of them did try something. They tried something.
Yeah.
I don't think this one worked as well as 9, but.
Hey, something about the opening credits. Hey, I want to pitch something to the listeners. All right, you ready for this? End of the opening credits, you get, and introducing Sarah Moore.
Okay.
Now, she's like the pretty little girl, the little blonde girl who's like following them around.
Right, the yellow dress thing. Yeah.
Listen to this as a podcast idea. Any listener can take this and run with it.
Okay.
All right? Here's the podcast. You only cover movies with an and introducing credit in it. And then talk about how that panned out for the actor.
That is a great idea, dude. And you really wouldn't run out of material.
No, there's so many.
No, there's thousands.
Mm-hmm.
You would never run out of material. That's a great idea. Yeah. And it could be tragic. It could be glorious. It could be funny. It could be bad taste. It could be, it's wonderful. That's a great idea. Good thinking.
Think so.
Good thinking.
Yeah, I
man.
feel like some weeks you could be covering Sandra Bullock. Some weeks you could be covering the girl from Children of the Corn 10.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, in introducing.
And you can call the podcast that, by the way, and introducing.
Look at this guy. He just gave you guys, no matter where you're listening, Philippines, Sweden,
Keep going.
Australia.
Name countries.
I'm naming countries that I know listen to us.
Yeah.
Japan, China. Let's cover that area.
China.
Canada, Netherlands, Belgium, Norway.
Keep going.
Do they listen to us in France? Have we ever gotten a French review?
I don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen a French.
Aren't they all dead over there?
Why are they dead?
Because of the coronavirus.
Jesus Christ.
That's Italy.
Oh, we have Germany listeners for sure. Yeah. Okay, I'm done. I mean, there's more, but Serbia, Libya.
Great.
Anyway, you have it all done for you. He just gave you guys a podcast. That's just great. Look at that free shit on this show.
All right. It's a mom and a kid. A mom and a young mom and a son.
Yeah, we're supposed to believe this woman aged 13 years from the first shot of the movie to this shot when we see her on the road. She looks exactly the same.
Her name's Ruby. Is that right?
Ruth.
Ruth.
Ruby. It's biblical. It's Ruth.
I don't fucking care.
That'd be great if it was Ruby. The Book of Ruby.
So Ruth, right? Marcy Miller is the actress. All right. So they're in like a motel. They're living in a motel.
Yeah, or the back of her truck for a lot of it, but yeah.
It's her and the kid. They're on the run for some reason. We don't really know from what. We
figure it out pretty quickly. I mean, you knew why they were on the run, didn't you? Right away.
Because there's that flashback.
Yeah, I knew that she's just running away from
the flashbacks in these movies. I just zone out.
Yeah, I don't pay attention either, but I as much as it's just pretty obvious to me. I mean, what else would she be running from? It just makes sense. We're 10 movies in. What's she going to be running from?
This happens to me when I'm watching Survivor, Henry, when Jeff Probst starts to give out the rules of the challenge, the objectives.
You have trouble focusing.
I zone out, and then the challenge starts, and I'm like, oh, God, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And that's what happens with these movies. You get the flashback right at the beginning. I'm like, oh. And then it goes to present day, and I'm like, oh, shit. There was some Vietnam stuff, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Yeah, but yeah, they go to a little town. Her mother and son. She applies to be a mechanic at a mechanic shop. She's turned away, and then in the rain, the African American mechanic character comes back and gives her a job. By the way, I mean, 10 movies. How many black people in these movies?
Great point. Yeah, rare black guy.
How many? I mean,
under 10.
Oh, easily under 10.
I'm saying including extras.
It's easily under 10.
Yes.
Yeah, easily. I mean, I was even thinking speaking roles. I think there might be 2.
I can't think of one in particular.
I can't either. I feel like I want to say there was a cop in one of them that was black, but I might be thinking of another I might be thinking of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Maybe. I have been getting these confused a little bit with Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I have too.
Because it's all these just lonely desert roads. It's a lot of cars breaking down.
Yeah.
We're going into strangers' homes.
Yeah. The setup is very similar, if not exactly the same. Knocking on houses that are abandoned, being curtailed by broken vehicles. Yeah,
there's even some Vietnam stuff in that franchise.
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah.
All right. This is my favorite part of the whole movie, Henry. So first of all, I want to say that this entire movie is a metaphor for the sexual upbringing of this boy.
Okay, interesting.
All right, that's my theory. The whole movie is about this boy's budding sexuality.
All right, I want to hear more.
All right, so the first hint you get of that, they wake up in the motel. The mom is still asleep. All right, he's looking out the window.
Yes,
and it's a hooker and her latest John saying goodbye to each other, and they appear to be blackout drunk.
Absolutely.
And I loved this scene. The hooker comes out. notices the boy staring at her, pulls down her top, shows him her boobs, and is like, "You want to see some fucking tits, kid? Look at this." And and he
then trips and falls on her head.
Doesn't even just fall on her head, falls like on a ledge on her face. Like she really gets fucked. Yeah, I thought she might have broken her neck or something.
I thought she was dead. I thought that was the point of what was happening.
No, I think she like breaks her nose though. She's like really bleeding. And her tits are still out, which is great.
Yeah, and she wipes the blood on the window and sort of blames the kid.
Yeah, like, you distracted me.
Yeah. Spot on impression of that woman.
Yeah. So that's wonderful, Henry.
Yeah,
so
that's a delight.
So what I'm saying is this boy is starting to sort of be interested in the opposite sex. I think he might be fapping at this point in like the bathroom.
Well, I mean, he is. I don't know how old he is. He looks like he's probably 12 or 13, right? I mean,
yeah, I think he's. That's why I think this. It reminded me a lot of that of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, which opens with him jerking off in bed. You remember that? And then his wand comes.
I remember you speaking about it. I don't remember thinking that at the time, but yeah, okay. Sure.
So then there's that scene later in the movie where the mom is going to like bone her black boss.
Yep, there's that. Right.
And he's sort of like on the stairs, like, there's sex happening.
That's correct. That is true.
And then and they're like, hey, they notice him.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And he's just like staring. The dude even goes like, "Hey man, nothing going on. Just go to bed."
Yeah, which is the right response.
Right. Totally.
Because he still wants to continue.
Honestly, the right response is like, "Hey buddy, come. You want anything? Come on down."
No, that's not the right response.
I think it is.
I think the response is,
they're fucking in the living room first of all, which is not the move.
No, but like he could, but he kind of just he doesn't play it right. He doesn't play it right. He lost out, that poor mechanic. Because
who really doesn't play it right is the son. He's standing there in plain sight.
Yeah, not a good hider.
Just peek.
Yeah, it's true.
Use your peripherals.
There's another moment too. Now that you've jogged my memory with the waitress, right? They show her the waitress's cleavage.
That's right.
So that's
she
for
leans
him, I
in
guess.
to give him some eggs or something.
Yeah. An onion burger. Yeah.
Is that a thing?
That's what he keeps ordering every time.
Onion burgers? That's disgusting.
Yeah, it is disgusting, and that's what he keeps ordering.
Speaking of that diner waitress, she's my MVP.
She's great.
I thought she was actually good. And
did
I
too.
thought the performances in this movie were bad for the most part.
Yeah, they're a little overcooked. Yeah.
Or undercooked. Like I feel like Ruth was an underdeveloped character in terms of the performance.
Yeah.
It was just sort of like, I'm going to play this character glum. And that's what it's going to be.
Well, she's very glum. She's very glum. Yeah.
But this actress, Sarah, the diner waitress, she's a little bit dynamic.
She is dynamic, and I got to tell you, she fooled me.
Absolutely. This is exactly what we're talking about. She has a heel turn like pretty late in the movie.
Yeah.
And we talked about that actor a couple movies ago who I felt like was just like acting like an asshole the whole movie, so his heel turn was like, oh, we weren't supposed to think you were an asshole.
Right. Yeah.
This was like an actual, like, to me, it made sense. Her only purpose in the movie was to be like the friend character.
Yep.
She's just going to be like a talking board for Ruth.
Right.
And then she had a sweet heel turn.
Yeah, and I liked her in her moment. It probably could have been shot better, but that's how we do these things. They're on the water tower, and she starts telling him about cornfields, essentially, which is stupid. But then he says, we're not going away to Oklahoma or wherever she says they're going to go. Right? We're not going to Tulsa, right? And she goes, nope. And that's as soon as she says nope, then you're like, oh, shit.
This was another thing that drove me nuts about this movie.
Mm.
They're on the run from a corn cult.
Yeah.
Go somewhere where there's no corn.
I agree.
What the fuck are you doing? You're hanging out in Nebraska, and then the plan is to now go to Tulsa?
Yeah, I
What
had
the
the
fuck are you
same.
talking
I
about?
had the same
Go
thought.
to Seattle.
Go to Seattle, go to New York. You'll get lost. No one will find you.
Yeah.
You know, I had the same thought. It's like they're on a road trip and they're staying in the same like 6 contiguous states. It's like we need to get out of Nebraska. Let's go to Utah, North Dakota, South Dakota, Oklahoma. I mean, no, just go to the coasts.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
They're better. I promise.
Yeah, that too. Stay away from the Gulf. There's a lot of bad weather down there. But yeah, they would be away. They'd get away. You're right. They're just swapping one cult for another. You know.
Like so many of these middle American people
Yeah.
today.
Very good point. Yeah, yeah, very true.
All
Yeah.
right. So what happens?
I don't know because the Wikipedia doesn't have a Wikipedia page, so I don't know.
I
The plot
couldn't
summary in front
believe
of me.
this movie didn't have a Wikipedia page. When do you ever see that?
Never. That's pretty rare. That's pretty rare. Nobody really cared. Nobody cared. I'm surprised our boy Kyle didn't write it. He could write it.
Padavano? Padavano,
Yeah.
that's right, dude. Start a Wikipedia page for this movie.
Yeah, why not?
Someone should
But-
do that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, the mom keeps having dreams of the Gatlin massacre. At one
Yeah,
point,
it's too many.
At one point, you think it's happening. Like I was convinced. At one point, like she's in the diner,
Yeah.
and
Yes. Yeah.
the blonde girl shows up in the window,
Yeah.
and all the kids then start like killing the adults. And I thought
Yeah.
that this girl was like launching a new Gatlin massacre. Or
Yeah, I
whatever.
did too. And I was like, oh, okay. That
Yeah, I thought it was
kinda-
pretty clever actually,
Yeah.
and it could be used to like relaunch the franchise.
Yeah, to just like stick it in the middle of the movie like that too,
Yeah.
like not at the beginning,
Yeah.
and then it wasn't. It was all.
Then you have a
dream.
second act.
Yeah. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it's all a dream.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying. The little
Yeah, it was
girl, the
cop
little
out.
blonde girl turns out to be the diner waitress, right?
That was another ambiguous plot point. You
Because
know,
they're like in the room together, and then Ruth looks at the little girl, and then back at the diner waitress, and then she disappears.
I think there's the two possibilities that I thought of were one that it is her, but the other one I thought of was just that the diner. What's her name? The fucking.
The diner waitress is Sarah. By the way,
Sarah.
I don't think that we're supposed to be unclear about this.
You're probably right.
I
I'm sure we're not.
totally think the intention is for us to just walk away from this going like, that was a fun Children of the Corn movie, here's what happened. But
Yep.
it's just so badly made
Correct.
that it's hard to make heads or tails of.
No, it is because I got from it that they just knew each other as kids in the cult, and she doesn't recognize Sarah. That's all, and that Sarah's whole role in life was to find her and bring her back or steal her son. And so, if that's the case, then she's not the little girl in yellow, and the little girl in yellow is like just a new. I figured the little girl in yellow is literally like the Isaac of this movie. She's like the newish Isaac
Totally
of the movie.
disagree. I think the little
Okay.
girl in yellow doesn't really exist today. I think it's a
So
manifest.
she's like a ghost.
Yeah, I think it's like sort of a manifestation of the diner waitress Sarah.
But Sarah's real. She's interacting with the adults. I mean, she's a real person.
But I think she's projecting this girl to
I don't know,
terrorize
man.
people.
If that's the case, then she's projecting this girl to like have scenes of her own where no one's hallucinating, like when she kills the mechanic.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Very strange.
I don't
mean,
fucking know.
It's probably just a MacGuffin so we can enjoy the
That mechanic seems
5-year-old.
worthless though. They might have that might have been in reshoots. Like we need another death. Throw this in there.
Yeah, that poor guy. That character. He just nothing good happens for that fella. He can't get laid. He gets murdered. He's poor. His shop has
He
a few
deserved
customers.
it. I didn't like the tantrum he threw after he couldn't have sex with her.
He got very mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Henry, what?
Yeah.
Eh.
Yeah, and it ends with the. Did you stick around for the credits?
Oh, yeah, I did. Wait, I want to talk about that in a second, but can I just a couple more things about the movie,
Yeah.
if I may? Two things.
Sure.
Okay, one. Here's another thing about the budding sexuality of the son.
Okay.
I think we're setting up some incest.
between.
The mom and son.
Really?
Hear me out.
All right.
I think it's possible that the little girl that we're seeing is the mom.
And not Sarah.
Yeah, I think it could be a young version of the mom.
Okay.
And that's why she's alarmed to see it. So, and then the son, we see him with the little girl, like sort of like
Yeah, in the woods.
embracing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting. Maybe the mom is the son's love interest.
You know, you actually gave this movie much more thought.
It's the last one, so I gave it some thought.
You gave it the effort. Yeah, I did not. I mean, I took it for what I saw it as, and I didn't go that deep. But I mean, I'm not discounting any of your theories. All of them could be true. But I do agree with your first point in that there's no way on earth that you were supposed to walk away with this from this movie thinking all these possibilities. It's supposed to. It just wants to tell you a story, but it does it so poorly. That's why we're having this entire discussion.
Here's one more thing. 2018, this movie came out. At one point, they say that there was a mass killing in Gatlin a decade or so ago.
Yeah. Again, great chronology continuity there.
So I thought that was really interesting because in all the movies up to now, we've treated the massacre in Gatlin as though it took place in 1984.
Or in the 70s.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I thought it was interesting that we're now trying to do like a sliding time scale the way Marvel does.
Yeah, definitely, because Ruth also, that means that it doesn't make sense.
No, it's like the thing where like Spider-Man was created in the 60s, but like since the 60s only like 15 years have passed of Marvel continuity.
No. Exactly. Yeah. Because her son changes that entire sliding scale because he's supposed to be like 12 or 13. So
that's right. Yeah.
In fact, we know he's 13. Don't they say 13 years later? Yeah, they do. I said that at the beginning of the show. It's 13 years later. So 13 years have gone by, but we're saying the massacre happened
a decade
10,
or so ago.
So that could have been the case. I guess she was pregnant, had him, and then bolted.
Yeah,
ran
away.
Man. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Very, very strange. Very strange.
You know, it just occurred to me. I don't know if we've gotten a corn update this week.
Oh, good point. Yeah, where do you get those from?
John Evan Bear.
Okay, better check.
I better. I fucking better, dude. You know, he doesn't. I don't think he sent me one this week, but
maybe he's had it. Maybe he's done.
JEB, let me know, buddy. You know, some people really like Jason Anthony Harris's Korn theme song.
It's a big hit.
And some people were annoyed by it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not in like they weren't like bitchy about it. They were just sort of like, I hate Korn. And then I had to hear it.
I hate them too. I mean, I think for this show it was good. I think it was very good.
Henry, I think those closing credits were possibly the best part of the franchise. I really liked them.
Well, did anything have to do with the fact, because I know this happened to me, this really happened to me, when the credits started, I felt like I was I had like a shower, like I was having like this big, nice, hot shower, and I just felt refreshed because like my whole mind and body, I just wanted to like say namaste.
I didn't, because I still had Disciples of the Crow left.
I forgot I had to do that until the next day. So as far as I was concerned, I was done. We were over. So I was watching these credits almost with like a tad of glee going on. Yeah.
Just relief.
Yeah, relief, just a little bit of cleanliness, sort of like diving into the ocean type of thing. It's great.
Yeah. It's like the shower you take when you get back from the beach.
Yeah. That's a good shower.
Yeah, it's a great shower, man.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. But then we see the yellow dress girl get enveloped in darkness, and
who fucking cares?
Right, and that's the.
That's not what I'm talking about. I just like the picture credits, those black and white picture credits.
Oh yeah, I love when they do that. It reminds me of like the Star Wars Christmas special where it's like, and now
No,
here's
I
everybody
wish
here.
I disagree. I honestly wish every movie had picture credits. I'm in no way exaggerating.
Well, no, I'm saying to add. To
I
the
know,
commu-
and lumpy as lumpy, of course.
Right, because it's like you don't. These people don't. These actors, the characters, they don't mean anything. Like, what are we doing? We're like, we're gonna show these, and they're all kind of giving like a naughty glare at the camera. Like, I'm never gonna see you again.
Yeah, totally.
I'm never gonna see you
Even
again.
if like another Children of the Corn movie comes out tomorrow,
You're done.
I won't.
You're
You're done.
One and done. One and done.
This is a one.
This is a one.
Who's your MVP?
The waitress.
Yeah, of course. Who's your LVP?
I'm not sure.
Ruth.
Who do you have?
Main girl, Ruth.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think she was
Just
that bad.
fucking one note over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, she's trying.
Yeah. Hey, is your face slightly moist from tears?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Oh, I know who it is. You know who it is? It's that terrible, terrible, terrible actress who shows up to pick up her car at the end. She's bad. She comes to pick up her car, and Ruth and her find the mechanic's body together. And the way the woman, I'm late for a root canal. I have to get to my root canal. Is there any way to get to my car right away? And she rambles on and on. She's really bad. That's an extra who was told to do some lines. She's real bad.
I don't. Whatever.
Good. Yes. Sounds good. All right.
And no superhero count?
Nope.
That's great news, man.
Isn't it nice? Yeah, it's nice for me too. I did my rankings.
Wait, we have to talk briefly about Disciples of the Crow.
I know. I didn't include Disciples of the Crow in my rankings.
I did.
All right, go ahead. Get started.
The only podcast where we cover YouTube videos. That can't be true. I'm sure a lot do. All right, Disciples of the Crow. Let's talk about it. Just John Woodward is the director.
Very exciting. This was now. Did you watch this on the one where they had the full 18 minutes, or the 9 and 9?
I watched the 9 and 9.
So did I. My reasoning for that was that it had like 53,000 views, and I figured that was going to be the authentic one. I didn't know.
It was the first and only one I saw.
Oh, I found another one that was 18 minutes long exactly. I guess I should have just watched that.
Who the fuck cares?
You care.
All right, it's
great.
John Woodward. He directed it. It's a Children of the Corn. I mean, not a remake. This came out first. This is like from 1983.
That's right.
So it takes place in Jonah, Oklahoma, which I thought was interesting. Not Nebraska, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Yeah.
Where the wind goes sweeping down the plains.
Oklahoma. Wait, this is another nice song in Oklahoma. He Who Hates Musicals. This is from He Who Hates Musicals. When I take you out in a Surrey, girls and guys will move in a hurry, right?
Yeah, I've got another one. I've got another one from Oklahoma.
Okay,
You
go
ready?
ahead.
Green acres where the wind goes sweeping down the plain.
That's great. That's in the second act.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite song in Oklahoma is I believe it's in the sixth act. It goes take a knock on a door, take a knock on a door, take a step that is new, take a step that is new. Yeah. Yeah, I gave it some oomph at the end there.
You did,
Oklahoma,
man.
great stuff.
Listen, you gotta love Oklahoma. My favorite episode of Oklahoma is when they had to pretend that one guy was gay in order to move into the apartment.
Yeah. My favorite episode of Oklahoma was The Watchmen on HBO. That took place in Tulsa.
You're right. Mm-hmm. Chandler
damn it,
worked
Joe.
in Tulsa for a while on Friends. I remember that.
Yeah. Okay.
Season
Which
7.
one's Chandler?
He's the snarky one. He goes like,
Which actor? Is
could
that?
I be any Matthew Perrier?
Ugh. right, the worst one.
He's not the worst one.
I hate Matthew Perry.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
He's so much better than like Schwimmer.
No, he's not.
Schwim Dog.
Schwimmer's got Curb. LeBlanc's got that thing you made me watch.
What?
The Showtime thing I like.
I didn't make you watch that. I thought you might like it, so I recommended it to you.
I know, and I did. What was the name of that?
Episodes.
Yeah. What's Perry got?
Perry, he was on
Nothing.
He was on The Good Wife. He was on Studio 60.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Matthew Perry, he's been around. He's got some good stuff.
Did he star in a movie with a chimpanzee? I don't think so.
I mean, he might have. I feel like they all did.
Post-Friends.
They did on Friends, right? There was that monkey on Friends.
He's a monkey.
Marcel.
Jesus. All right. So this YouTube video, I guess it's definitely taken from the short story because we have a bickering couple again. So
It's
I
the
think
same fucking story. We've seen it done.
that was tough for the third time. That was tough to sit through this again.
It's just condensed to fucking 18 minutes, so it's like it starts, hey, guess what? It starts with a kid fucking preaching, and then we cut forward, and it's a couple driving around in a car, and they're bickering at each other about the Vietnam War. Then they find a little corn figurine. She's weirded out by it. Then they see some signs leading to Gatlin. They go there, and they run over a kid, so they have to find some authorities. So then, they're in this town, and it's empty. Hey, what's going on? Then, they run into some kids, and the kids attack them, and then they leave. That's the fucking story. I know it by heart.
Yes, that was a pretty good synopsis, I think. I will say that this movie had one thing going against it among many. Very, very bad actors in the principal
They're
roles.
student actors. I didn't want to judge the acting too
They're
hard.
like 48-year-old students. But besides that,
the director played the bad guy with the mole on his face.
I don't remember. I remember some kid coming out to the guy outside the church and pulling up a crucifix that has a knife in it. That was pretty.
Well, early on in the first scene, you see like the kid doing the preaching, and he has like a huge birthmark on his face.
I didn't even notice.
And then you see him as an adult, and he still has the birthmark on his face, and that was the director.
Oh, that's great to know. A little trivia, inside information. I like that. I will say,
I figured if I remembered one thing about this, it'll seem like I took it in.
Right. Yeah, I will say that some of the shots in this were better than most of the shots in most of the movies.
I actually agree. Listen, they were framed well. He might have been trying to impress his professor or something.
Sure. Well, it wasn't easy back in 1983. You had to like get a camcorder.
Yeah, no. It's fair. It's on ridiculous grainy picture.
Yeah.
It looks VHS quality, but
he's
like
trying.
He is trying. He's setting up shots. They got some locations in. You get to see a classroom with corn all around it again.
There's not much difference between the quality of the location set of the Gatlin town than there is to the other Gatlins we've seen.
It's really not significantly worse than the original Children of the Corn movie.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I think it's better than 3 of them.
I have it higher than also 3 of them.
Wow, these are going to be fun rankings.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we did it.
They survive, I'll say. That's something different. The
they
couple
did.
both survive, as they do in the original movie, but not in the most recent remake.
Correct. That's right.
And then I love, as they drive away, they sort of pan to the back of their car, and it's like some mad, like, Axel Foley, Judge Reinhold shit. They've got, like, a piece of corn sticking out of their tailpipe. Like, ooh, they're gonna die.
You're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
Yeah. So whatever, fuck it. Do we have to even do it? Like, I'll give this a 2, I guess, for what it is.
2 stars. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I'd give it I guess. I didn't rank it. I mean, I didn't star it, but I'll just go with you on that. It's a 2 in relation to the other shit, sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's bullshit, but whatever. Who even cares? MVP, the director. LVP, Kyle Padavano.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, lad.
All right, let's do the rankings. This is exciting. There's 11 Children of the Corns. This actually took me longer than most rankings because they're so just equally shitty that it was hard for me. Like, I really had to put some thought into, like, which is better than which.
That's interesting. It didn't for me because for one of the first times, I haven't done this too much. I've done it a few times over the course of our show, but not that many times. I was keeping track as we went. So it was becoming easier and easier to
I was doing that in my head, but then like I had to sit down and write them down.
Oh, I couldn't do that in my head. Yeah, no. Too much space I need available for important facts like presidential history, things like that.
Henry, who was the president in 1832?
Andrew Jackson.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
You got you. He was reelected that year. Yes, reelected Andrew Jackson. His vice presidential nominee and candidate was Martin Van Buren.
Who was he running against?
In 1832,
yeah, bitch.
Andrew Jackson was he running against? He was running against shit.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you ask me who he was running against in 1828? I could have told you that.
I thought you had all this space in your head.
1828 he was running against John Quincy Adams, but that's not what you asked.
I don't care about that. That's not the question.
1832. I'll have to get back to you on that. I know that, and I've read it about 4 million times, but I can't come up with it right here.
All right.
Very sorry.
All right.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Fucking idiot.
I'm sorry to hear that I don't know the answer.
Dumb piece of shit. All right. Top 11 Children of the Corn movies. Let's do it.
Okay.
What's your number 11? The worst of the worst.
All right, and I have the Wikipedia pulled up so I can rely on the actual title. I know I usually rely on you for that. The worst Children of the Corn movie for me, number 11, is the 2009 Children of the Corn, the remake.
That is also my number 11.
Wow, yeah, that was the hardest.
That
thing
was
to,
the
to sit
worst.
through. Yeah, it had no value whatsoever. Not even funny.
No,
nothing.
It's
okay.
shit.
It's an ear of shit.
Yeah,
it's a husk of feces. All right, number 10. Not far behind the remake is the Children of the Corn Revelation. The 7th installment,
sure.
2001.
I went with my number 10 is Children of the Corn 4, The Gathering.
Oh, all right. I think we disagreed on that one.
We did, even at the time. We did that one with Aaron Farinelli, and you both liked it more than me.
Yes, correct. That's right. That was a little darker one. Yes.
It's just boring. All right, what's number 9?
You're not going to get any defenses out of me here. Yeah. Number 9 is the 10th installment, the last full movie, Children of the Corn, Runaway.
That's also my number 9.
Okay. All right. Number 8. I know we have the same
Yeah,
one.
we do. We both put
YouTube.
Disciples of the Crow.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Simulacrum. This is where it'll get interesting. We'll see. Number 7, the 7th best or 5th worst Children of the Corn movie is Children of the Corn 5, Fields of Terror.
Okay, I went with, for my number 7, Children of the Corn 7, Revelation.
Okay, all right. Yeah, well, I get it. All right.
Which one was that? The convenience store? That apartment?
Revelation.
Yeah.
That's the apartment.
The grandma.
One. Yeah, that's the grandma.
Okay.
I really couldn't take that one. That's why it's so low. All right. Number
6.
Number 6 is Children of the Corn 666, Isaac's Return.
Okay. My number 6 is Children of the Corn 9, Genesis.
Oh, okay. Well, that is my number 5.
Wait, I think we should hear the heavy hitters.
Oh, Not even close.
These are
to
some
having
heavy hitters, baby.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, there weren't any superheroes or lists this week, so we should.
We've got your one theme song.
Yeah, I think that people want it. I think they miss it, and here it is.
Heavy hitters.
These are the grand slams, the slap shots, the three-pointers, the touchdowns, the curling when the puck gets close to the circle. These are the heavy hitters of the franchise.
Heavy hitters.
You made a strange face. What did you look at?
It just
It's my
bounced
chair.
for a second. No, not you. With your
Oh.
would your chair make a fart noise or something?
No, yeah, it creaks when I go back like that. I didn't
Nah,
know what
your
you're...
connection's not great. You've
Weird.
Yeah, it's all right. It's not bad.
I'm on the Ethernet.
Top
All right.
5, baby. So your number 5, what was it?
9.
9.
The 9th.
And my number 5 is number 5, Fields of Terror.
Okay, all right. My number 4 is Children of the Corn 4.
The Gathering.
Thank you. Yeah, I lost the page now, so now I need you. Yeah.
My number 4 is the original Children of the Corn movie.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right, I got it back. My number 3, the third best Children of the Corn movie.
Mm-hmm. Still not something worth watching.
No. I didn't give any of these movies a 3. Not one of them got a 3. Did you give anything a 3?
I might have given Urban Harvest.
Yeah,
a
I
3.
think you did. All right. Children of the Corn 2, The Final Sacrifice is the third best movie.
Okay. My number 3 is Children of the Corn 666, Isaac's Return.
Okay. All right. My number 2 movie in this series is Children of the Corn 3, Urban Harvest.
I think you're wrong. To me, 2 and 1, I've never been clearer on anything. Number 2 is Children of the Corn 2, The Final Sacrifice.
Okay.
Yeah. And then number 1, what is yours? The original?
Yeah, the original. Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. Yeah.
And for me, it's Children of the Corn 3, of course, Urban Harvest.
So our top 3 are the same 3 movies, just in different orders. Yeah, the first 3 movies.
Well,
Yeah.
no. I have 3 at number. I have the original at number 4, Henry.
Oh, true. Okay. Yeah, I go 1, 3, 2.
I think that movie fucking sucks.
The original?
Yeah.
I agree. But like
Movie's
I explained,
dead weight.
like I explained before, the novelty hadn't been there yet, so I was interested in, but
By the way, I could call that movie the one with the grandma too,
yeah, you could.
Linda
And,
Hamilton.
Oh, Dark Fate reference.
Yeah, baby.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, might be the only. No, I'll say right now, except for some duologies we've covered, this is probably the only one we've ever covered, the only franchise we've ever covered with more than 2 movies where I will never watch any one of them ever again.
I mean, this might be the only franchise we've covered.
Yeah, I think so.
I hate these fucking movies, and I'm so happy to be on the other side of them. And I mean, Shut Up Tim said, like, how much would I have to pay you guys to watch the Children of the Corn movies again?
Oh man.
And I really think you'd be in like tens of thousands.
Yeah, I agree. The figure would have to be astronomical.
Yeah.
Because it's not worth.
It'd be enormous.
It's not worth the money.
No.
It's absolutely not. So, yeah.
Frankly, it wasn't worth this money that we got this time.
I kind of agree.
Sorry, Kyle.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, Kyle, you're great. Thank you for being a patron, and feel free to do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Returning patron, we hope.
You can't do worse.
Don't put.
That's a
don't-
great point, Henry.
don't put
I don't
that
want to. I don't
down.
want to put out a challenge.
No.